Hey there, so today I wanted to continue on the theme of misspent marketing. That is, throwing your marketing dollars into the wrong activities, the wrong tactics, the wrong channels, where there could be a more effective way to do it. And I have this great story that I think kind of outlines why that happens, especially when you're chasing what everybody else is doing. So we were working with a law firm, and somebody had told them, oh, you need to redo your website, and other people were telling them you need to get some video, things like that. And they were actually hiring my other company, which is a content company, to help with some of that stuff. And I said, hey, look, before we dive into any of that, let's do this process. Let me talk to your best clients, see what they're like, and see what is ultimately important. And so we did that, and a few things came up. One was that having a new website and looking professional was important, but wasn't the primary way that people were finding this law firm. A lot of it was word of mouth, interacting with them, with the principals, and building that sort of trust. So immediately that's pulling some triggers in my head that, okay, it's not about the digital marketing, it's about showing up, it's about going to networking events, it's about being professionally active as a lawyer. But then there was this aha moment in the first interview that I did. And I was literally just finishing up the interview and saying, hey, is there anything else? I asked a bunch of questions. Is there anything else that would be good? And the person said, we like this guy. I'll just call him John. We like John a lot. We reuse him for more, but we just aren't sure what his areas of specialty are. We have some other law firms that we use to handle some other stuff, but we're just not sure what his areas of expertise are. And I'm going, that's interesting. I need to start asking this question of the other clients. And so as I'm talking to the other clients, I find that this is a pervasive problem, right? They're all saying things like, yeah, we love John, but we're not sure what he does. We use 3 law firms. We use one law firm for this. We use a bigger firm for this. We use him for kind of the miscellaneous. The crowning moment was when I was talking to one client. I'm like, hey, are you using John, exclusively? Do you like this guy? And they said, oh yeah, we love him. The only time we didn't use him is because we were doing a large acquisition deal. And we figured he's a small law firm. He wouldn't be interested in that. That's not his area of expertise. I kid you not, this guy teaches the course on mergers and acquisitions at a top 20 ranked law school in the area. So he's actually teaching future lawyers about M&A deals. Yes, he would have loved that work, right? That's exactly in his wheelhouse. So I said, John, here's what you need to do. You need to think about what areas of the law are your sort of specialty, your areas of focus. We're going to make a nice sell sheet for each of those. We're going to make it very pretty. It's going to say how awesome you are in each of those. We're going to put those sell sheets in a nice professional looking folder. You're going to send it to all of your clients and to all of your prospects that you're currently talking to. So we did that, and after he sends them out, he calls me back about 3 months later. And he says, Brandon, sending those things out has already paid for itself. Meaning the interview, making the sell sheets, printing the folders and sending them out. In 3 months, he got his money's worth back and then some, just in additional work he got from existing clients. Because they actually knew what his areas of specialty were, and they already liked working with him. And so now they understood, okay, he can handle this other work we have, and we'd much prefer working with him than a larger law firm. So that's a lesson there, that there was actually a lot of revenue just sitting there in plain sight. He just needed to do a better job at defining what his areas of expertise were. And that was a much better use of his budget dollars than chasing down a fancy website or doing Google ads or anything like that. So I love that story. I think there's a big lesson, especially for law firms in there. But I think it also tells us a lot about misspent marketing as well. Do you suspect that your company isn't getting its money worth from its marketing? Connect with us on LinkedIn or visit hdunderstanding.com.